What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be reacting, or rating rather, the Premier League 2021 kits. I thought that with the season starting imminently that it would be a good idea to sort of give you my opinion on the kits for the new teams and the old teams. All but one of the teams has released their kits. You will find out who that is in the video because I will mention them. Shame to them. But yeah, let's get into it. Starting off with Arsenal. Standard-ish red number with the white sleeves. I'm not a big fan of this sort of triangle-y boomerang pattern around the neck and on the body of the shirt. But I think overall Arsenal always give you a decent kit. That's why I've decided to give this a 7 out of 10. Quick word on the sponsor. I think it actually fits in quite nicely here. It's not too bad. We will now, though, move on to Aston Villa, who I've given a 6.5 out of 10. They've obviously changed their shirt sponsor this year from W88 to Kazoo. I think that's helped make the kit look better because the W88 insisted on having their rather odd-looking gold logo on the shirt, but that is obviously no longer there. In terms of colours, I'm not really sure. Maybe a little bit more blue than last year, but not a bad kit, so I've given it 6.5 out of 10. We now move on to Brighton. This is in fact my favourite Premier League kit this year. Love the collar, love the pinstripes, 8.5 out of 10. I love the way they've sort of boxed out a space for the American Express sponsor. The way that I would sort of bump it up to a 9, maybe even a 10 out of 10 would be if it had a bit more of that yellow trim, which you can kind of see on the back of the collar, and the Nike tick is also yellow. Moving on now though to Burnley. It's basically the same kit as Aston Villa's, let's be honest. Same goes for West Ham. I've given it the same rating. Maybe a bit nice for Burnley because the sponsor here, the Laba 360, does not fit in as well. This great big poker chip on it saying 360, even though they've put in the Burnley colours of claret and blue, doesn't fit in very well. And then to put on top of that, I don't think Chinese writing really looks in place on the English football shirt. But we will now move on to Chelsea. 7.5 out of 10 with their iconic 3 kit, where they keep getting 3 goals, conceding 3 goals in their games. Don't know if that's still a streak, but if it is, well done Chelsea. Yeah, it's a decent kit. I like the black sort of trim. I think that black, even though it doesn't seem to traditionally go, Chelsea and Nike have made the black and blue work very nicely here. So I've given it 7.5 out of 10, which is, as you'll see, quite a good score. We now move on to the joint worst kit in the Premier League, though. Crystal Palace for me. Well, firstly, the stupid W88 sponsor with their goldy logo on the red and blue kit doesn't go. There's 3 stripes on the whole kit. Palace are meant to have striped kit. There's 3 stripes, only one of them in the middle. They don't even go up to the top. They sort of stop halfway, like shoulder, and then the middle one comes slightly higher. It's awful. I'm not digging it at all. Terrible kit, 4 out of 10. Now move on to Everton though. Nice clean number here with the Kazoo sponsor. Don't quite remember who they had last year, but I think it looks quite nice. The Hummel sort of lines on the shoulder, I think it adds a little bit to it because from this picture, which is what we're sort of going to see when we see it on camera, it is a bit plain. There's sort of one bit of detailing on the sleeve with a nice little white mark, but those Hummel things need to be there to elevate it to a 7 out of 10. And then move on to Fulham. Oh wait, they don't have a kit. Ridiculous, 0 out of 10. Moving on though, Leeds, 7.5 out of 10, high score. Initially, I wasn't a big fan of this kit, but it has grown on me. The Adidas stripes especially, that's sort of hit and miss. I've started to like it a bit more. They've gone for the blue trim this year. They normally alternate between like gold, blue, white, maybe, silvery white, black. But I think it's decent, 7.5 out of 10. SBO top sponsor fits in quite nicely. Not sure about this little man though. Leicester, 5.5 out of 10. For me, there's just sort of too much going on. We can see they've Adidas sort of put that curved bit where it goes into the shoulder, slightly different shade of blue, maybe a slight bit of collaring, and then the end of the sleeve they've got some detailing. It's too much going on for me in a home shirt. If they'd sort of kept that body blue colour consistent instead of changing it or putting a stitch on the sort of upper body region. I think it could have got higher, but for me, nah. We now move on to Liverpool, 6.5 out of 10 for me. I think Liverpool should always have a pinstripe kit. I think Liverpool, I associate pinstripes with them. They've gone for a plain one this year, and well, it's a bit plain. There's not really much to say. The bluey colouring kind of works. Not sure about the sort of overlapping bit on the collar though, which is why I have given it a 6.5 out of 10. We will now move on to Manchester City. I've given it a 6 out of 10. The swimming pool kit, as it's known. Initially, I wasn't a big fan, but it's slightly growing on me to become a bit more of a bang average kit now. It's meant to be mosaic to commemorate the heritage and history of Manchester or something like that. But I'm not a big fan. I don't think it goes, especially as they haven't sort of put it on the shoulder. I feel like maybe they should have gone a bit more full send in that sense. We now move on to our rivals, Man United, 6 out of 10. This is going to be the bus seat kit or something like that. Again, you can't really see it too much, but you can sort of see it enough that it makes these little red, slightly different shades of red annoying. So I'm not a big fan of it. 6 out of 10 for me. There's not enough else going on. Maybe don't put those red stripes in. Put a bit of trimming on it or something like that. Maybe a pinstripe or two, I don't know, but for me like that, no thanks. We now move on to Newcastle. I've given a 7.5 out of 10. This year, Puma have taken them back to their more traditional long, short stripes, or thin, long stripes route, instead of the sort of fatter ones they had last year. And the 7.5 is mainly just as appreciation for managing to make this Fun 88 sponsor, I think, work so nicely. The main way to get a bit more would be to have some more of this sort of sky blue trim or something around the shirt, but it's not there, so 7 out of 10. Now move on to Sheffield United joint worst kit, 4 out of 10. I'm sure you can see the theme here. Stripes that don't go to the top of the shirt. It really annoys me. I don't like it at all. Not to mention the fact that the Adidas logo, it's not even on one of the stripes. They've put it in between two. It's not even like exactly on the centre. It's a bit weird for me. Adding on to that, this USG sponsor with the red Union Jack, double Union Jack thing. I'm not about that kit. However, Southampton's kit, I think, is not too bad. What ruins it, it's quite obvious, the sponsor. If teams didn't have title sponsors on their shirt, this Southampton kit would be the best in the league. But this sponsor, I don't even know who it is. I know they've had some sort of conundrum with their sponsors, so this might not even be the right sponsor. I'm not 100% sure on that. But the Chinese writing, again, don't like. And the logo just going across the sash doesn't work at all for me. But the design as a base, very good. We now move on to Tottenham, who have made their recycle kit, or whatever you want to call it. A couple of things I'm not liking here. This sort of shoulder bit where they have a slight bit of blue. I suppose that's coming up the side, but not a big fan of that. And then this yellow bit, which is mostly internal. I don't see the point of having like internal features on a kit, so it's only a 6 out of 10 from me. But we will now move on to the next team, and that is West Brom. 5.5 out of 10 for me. Their stripes look like they're a barcode. Let's be honest here. It looks like a barcode with an ideal sponsor, ideal boiler sponsor in the middle of it. Not to mention that going from the shirt to the shoulders, the stripes sort of clash with each other in a way. Not a big fan of that either. I think these West Brom kits as a template might have a bit of potential, but I don't feel like Puma have really made it work here, which again, Puma not making things work seems to be a bit of a common theme. We will now move on to the second last kit of the video, West Ham United. Same as Aston Villa and Burnley, as I said before, at 6.5 out of 10. Much better than last year's kit. I didn't like the sort of chop style, as you'd say, last year. But I think this year they sort of really neatened up and refined it. Maybe I could have given theirs and Villa's a 7, kept Burnley's as a 6.5, I don't know. But I've decided to keep them all the same because they're all the same colour scheme. 2 of them have white sponsors. So yeah, West Ham 6.5 out of 10. We now move on to Wolves for the final kit. And we go out with a pretty large bang, I'd say. 8 out of 10 from me, this Wolves kit. The sort of background stripe things, I don't think you'll be able to see them that much on the camera, especially when it's raining. I think that Wolves produced a really clean shirt with the right amount of detailing. The way to get up, again, better sponsor, not a fan of this sort of white logo with the man, the X, and the Chinese writing, as I've said before. But that is the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you like, subscribe, share, all of that good stuff. And let me know down in the comments, do you want me to do some more kit rating? Do you want me to rate away kits, championship kits, League One, National League, whatever? Or do you want me to do some more my thoughts or something like that? There's obviously a huge Grand Prix today, Premier League predictions maybe. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching and goodbye.